Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, Big Blue Drew 97 here today, and a slightly different look than my usual t-shirt or law jacket. Decided to see how just wearing a suit jacket in this video is going to be, as well as another change, which is reading the official release of Shonen Jump. So when it comes to this video, it's going to be a little bit different when it comes to what may actually be in the chapter, or what you might have actually read, because I'm basing it off of Shonen Jump. So with that out of the way, this is my review of My Hero Academia, manga chapter 252, titled The Forgiven. Sorry. The Unforgiven. Yeah, that makes a whole lot more context for what we're about to go into in this chapter, which we start off basically in the same fashion that we started off ending the previous chapter, which is Endeavor basically embracing Natsuo and Bakugo due to the fact that he was unable to save Natsuo during that time. And he's basically making sure that they're alright because he still is a hero. And Bakugo is being Bakugo. It is like, get off me, you old man. You smell like old man. You smell disgusting. And it's just, Bakugo being a horrible person when it comes to his mannerisms. He's not an evil person, but he doesn't know how to talk to people in the right way. So there's a funny scene of him basically slipping out from underneath Endeavor's hug, and he's like, chump. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, what happened to that white paint guy? Which we actually get a better understanding of what the ending's ability was, because from my point of view, I thought he was able to control cloth in the same vein as how not Night Eye, but how Eraserhead, he controls his special cloth. But in actuality, his quirk, his ability is to control the white paint lines. So he's able to control the line markers on the streets, and that's what his power is. And so Manga asked about this guy, and as we know, he's frozen solid because Shoto just froze him solid, and he's like, no, this is wrong, because they foiled his suicide attempt, as well as we get Deku basically telling Bakugo as well as that everything's okay. And Bakugo asks about that, and Deku's like, everything's okay. And it's like, yeah, this is a win for us. And he's like, great, now shut up. And then he looks at Endeavor, and he's like, ha, you remember when you said that we have to be faster than you by the end of the week? Here we are. We were faster than you, Endeavor. Bakugo being Bakugo. And Endeavor just yeah, you guys were, y'all were faster than me. Good job. And Bakugo just doesn't accept that, because he's like, what? No response, no crying. I accept the praise, but really, that's all you're gonna give me? And after that, we see Natsu just push back, and then after that, we get a better understanding of how Endeavor was feeling when he hesitated. Because at first, I thought the hesitation came from the fact that, oh no, if I do something to try to get him, it could cause harm to Natsu. So he just starts screaming, which really makes Bakugo, Shoto, and Deku really uncomfortable when he starts saying what he's actually meaning, which is that he couldn't help because he believed that if he were to help you, then you wouldn't be able to stand looking at me, and then you would feel responsibility for what I've done. Long story short, he's like, if I had saved you, there is no way that you would have been able to think that you can stand up to me because you saved my life. It's you would believe that you are now indebted to me, the person that you hate. And he's like, I couldn't do it. And it's and we get more understanding of what he did in the past. He was in the past, I didn't want to neglect you and Toya and everyone. I didn't want to do that. I was unaware, and I was dodging responsibilities. Basically, he starts explaining, and he also understands that with Toya, that he accepts the fact that he probably killed him. So basically, it's I know in the past, I didn't want to do these things, or more precisely, what I really wanted to do was not what I was representing, and I was just dodging my actual responsibilities. And he just goes on this small, just tirade of what he's doing, And then we get Natsu's response to this, where he's like, basically, it's like, you're kidding, right? Couldn't take responsibility? Yeah, after all this stuff that you have done to me, it will be a cold day in hell before I can ever forgive you. And then he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be as caring as Shoto. I'm never going to forgive you. And then Endeavor calls Natsu out on his bull, because he's like, well, you say that you don't care, but the only reason why you came around, even though I was living in the house, is because of Fuyumi and Mother, how you came for her and came for your sister, and that you wanted to be there because that's what they wanted. You say you're not caring, but like what you have shown is caring, because like it is true. Like normally, like you wouldn't be around someone that you just straight up hated unless you had like a good reason to do that, which for Natsu's case is because he really cared for his family. So this shows like why he was reacting to the way, because he was conflicted. He's conflicted between showing love and compassion and caring for his brother, his sister, and his mother, and conflicted from his hatred with his father. Like he couldn't balance that, to the point in which he just always lashed out at Endeavor. So now that this is finally out, Endeavor basically says like he understands like Natsu's feelings. He's like, by the way, you don't have, and he basically comes to the conclusion like, you don't have to forgive me. You don't have to, because I'm not even looking for forgiveness. I'm looking for atonement. So to those people that are saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe Hirokoshi's allowing Endeavor to be forgiven, this is unthinkable. No. He's looking for atonement. You can do horrible things and still seek atonement. Many prisoners in prison who might have committed atrocious murders still do not seek forgiveness, but they seek atonement. And like, even with this, Natsu's like, how can you basically say that? Like, you say like, you come around, like every time I see you, these memories are rushing around. Oh, why do I have to be the one to have to change because of you? He's basically mad because he realizes that in his heart, he sees what Endeavor is doing, and like he realizes that he's doing it for the better, which is altering like how he perceives Endeavor. Basically, Endeavor is making himself a better person, and Natsu just cannot accept that based off like what he did in the past. And he's like, every time I see you, I get mad. How am I supposed to let you atone? How are you gonna? And he asks him like, how are you gonna make that happen? How? Just how? Tell me. And he has an idea. But then we get Indy in the background spouting about, come on, you've gone soft, Endeavor. Basically, to sum up what he basically says, it's just, kill me, Endeavor, kill me, Baka. Yeah, that's basically a good way to sum it up. And even like Bakugo and like Deku is like, yeah, where's the police? Yo, police, where are you? And then he gets taken away, and we get a little bit of information about like what exactly happened to him, and it confirmed what I thought in the last chapter or two, is that when he did this, the thing that he inserted into his neck, it was the drug that enhances a person's quirk. So like basically like what he was able to do with like all those line markings and how like he was able to do that was because he boosted his quirk. So I was right about that. But new information that we get is that, you know, there's not that much circulation of the drug anymore, which could be due to the fact that the Yakuza was totally annihilated by Deku. So if anything, what I really enjoy about My Hero is just how past events have direct effects on the future. For instance, in this latest My Hero season 4, we're going to get more about Gigantomachia, because we see him in a flashback of Kirishima, and that ties into later chapters where he accepts Shigaraki as his new master, and possibly killed Kirishima's like hero, Red Riot. He probably killed him, which is something that I thought is sure Kirishima will fight and eventually defeat Gigantomachia, because the idea is that he's basically impenetrable. He cannot really take damage, while Kirishima is like something that could like not take damage, but is able to destroy anything in its path. So that kind of ties into that, as well as like the idea of how even though when the pillar All Might fell, the hero piece fell, how there is still darkness in the world, and even though they tried to replace it with endeavor, there's still like rampant darkness, to the point in which apparently this is like the second or third time that someone has like gone after endeavor in like the past like 2 or 3 days, which makes sense because we also see like the glass guy, and his driver makes this comment, and Endeavor's thinking to himself, yeah, but we still have light. And we get a transition over to the students, and we have like just a random dude asking them like, oh man, what are y'all hero names? Or like specifically Bakugo, it's like, yeah, what is your hero name? If I look at that person, no, that's actually, now I think about it, that's actually Natsuo asking about Bakugo's hero name, I'm pretty sure of. And Bakugo's like, Deku's like, oh no, it's Bakugo. And Bakugo's just looking at this, no, it's not, you damn nerd. And it's like, what? You have a hero name? Come on, tell me. And he's like, I wouldn't tell you. Now go off and die. And then Shota jumps in, well, then can you tell me? You can go time too. I'm only gonna tell one person first before I tell any of y'all. And I'm not gonna do it because you're gonna die, Baka. And that's actually even more development for Bakugo, because who is this person going to be? Who is the only person that Bakugo has any form of connection to that would have a connection? It's Best Genius. He's probably wants to tell Best Genius his hero name, which in reality, we really have no idea what his hero name could be. It could be King Explosion. Like, that, like, one of his hero names was King Explosion Murder. That might not, that we know for a fact that's not gonna be his hero name, but it could just be King Explosion. It could be Explosion Boy, as Kaminari said. At one instance, we just don't know, but we know that he wants to tell Best Genius because Best Genius was someone who like believed in him, a pro hero that believed him and believed that he should change, which he is going down that path of change. And Best Genius was just basically a catalyst for that, which makes it even worse for what is implied that Hawks did to Best Genius, which is that he just killed him. So yeah, we're not gonna learn Bakugo's hero name for a while, because we know Deku's is Deku, Midoriya is Deku's, Shoto's is Shoto, and we just won't know Bakugo, so it's just gonna be Bakugo, which is kind of sad. But then we get a side comment about Hawks, about how Hawks had like a good eye, because basically like he told Endeavor to like train these students up, because in the next 4 months, like the Hero League of Villains and the Liberation Army, whatever their new name is gonna like come and basically take over in like 4 months. So it's like, so he brings up comments like, yeah, Hawks has a good eye for students. And then even after that, the last few panels, we go into basically a time skip a few days to the future. The kids are back in school, their break is over, but a few days later, Fuyumi learns about what happens, and she's like, attacked? Oh my gosh, is everyone okay? And then Natsuo is like, yeah, Shota and the boys, they saved me. And as well as like Endeavor begins explaining what his plan is for Atonement, where he's like, yeah, I've already talked to Shota and Natsuo about this, and I just wanted to talk to you about this, Fumi. I know that you've been working hard to keep this household together and to make a home for your mother to come back to. So I want to do like my way of helping about that. I'm building you a new home so that you don't have to commute from here, so that you can give your mother a good welcome home and welcome her back into the home. And Fumi just hears this and she's like, well, what about you? And he's like, oh, I'm gonna remain here. And we also get a monologue of Endeavor's dream about how he sees his whole family, but he sees that he's not there. He comes to the conclusion, is like, yeah, this is going to be my atonement. I may want to be with my family, but I can't because of everything that I've done, and they cannot move forward if I am there. So I'm going to build them a new house and stay in this home where all of this pain and all this negativity is. And this is just where I will live. And this will be my atonement. So basically his atonement is like being separated from what he realizes that he lost and wants back, but he has to atone for it So his atonement is that he has to be separated from what he actually was. He may want to sit at that table with his family, but he realizes that he won't be able to, even if they are forgive him. Even if all of them forgive Endeavor, I feel as if like he will always like remain in this home. And the only way that like they may move in is like the symbolic destruction of this negativity combined with a real destruction of this home, like destroying all of these negative feelings and build up and be able to go back home. And this is basically the end of the chapter. And when it comes to this chapter, I can't really put my feelings into words. It wasn't a bad chapter at all, but I'm not going to say that it was like an extraordinary out of the ball field chapter. If anything, what this chapter does is it basically finishes off on the small build-ups that we did in this small arc of over the winter break, where like all of the students were, specifically Deku, Bakugo, and Shoto, how they were like trying to be better than him while having Endeavor come to the like conclusion of like what he needs to do to atone for his sins that he committed against his family. And I think that's basically like the gist of it. Just the kids finally being able to catch up, and then the conversation that Natsuo and Endeavor should have had long ago. That's basically the gist of it, and the way for Endeavor to atone. So when it comes to this chapter, that's basically it. Just all of that just combined. There are emotions that I feel about this, and it mainly ties to a lot of the My Hero Academia fandom of how Endeavor shouldn't be redeemed. He shouldn't be forgiven, which in this chapter, it shows that he doesn't want forgiveness at all. He just wants to atone for it. So, if anything, with this chapter, it's a solid 4. And that's mainly because just of like the emotions that you can get from this chapter, and the emotions that you see on Endeavor's face when it comes to saving his son and realizing that he can never really have what he wants because he has to atone, and Natsuo coming to the conclusion that he may never forgive Endeavor, but he realizes that in his personality and how he is, that he may have to eventually do that, and that he has to fight with his true self, which is wanting to be a caring person and actually possibly forgive Endeavor, and his past self, where he's like he will never forgive him because of the death of his brother. So if anything, with these emotions together in the chapter is basically what this chapter is about. Just the emotional struggle of both Endeavor and Natsuo finally getting out in the open, for them to finally move forward and not stay in the past anymore. So yeah, that's basically my review of the chapter. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Sorry it came out a little bit late. I was a little bit busy, but I will try to get at least my reviews out in a timely manner. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you in the next My Hero review, as well as my next 7 Deadly Sins review. So I'll catch you guys later. Bye!